But we got a great episode for you today. The market as a whole went up today, and I looked at it last night, and everything was in the green. So I thought, all right, well, we're probably going to have a pretty good day today. The market as a whole, the Dow went up, 1.5. The the Nasdaq went up 1.8, and the S&P went 1.6. Call it 1.6. So what do we do here? We are really good at tripling and quadrupling our return, which is exactly what we did. We gained basically 4.5%. So we have a story to tell here. Number one, all my favorite segments are crushing it. So if you guys have been watching this and have not invested yet, get on board to these segments because they are going up and you're going to make a lot of money. So let's talk. And if you have, man, good job. Probably find a couple more to invest in, take a look at it. And I'll kind of walk you through kind of where my thinking is on any future investments, looking at what I have versus what I would have and kind of stocks that I'm looking at picking up. So, all right. Number one, oil segment is crushing it. WPX Energy, they do exploration and production of natural gas. So they do the Delaware Basin in Texas and New Mexico and the Williston Basin in North Carolina. So a little bit of each one, but big oil country. It's basically Trump's favorite two places where he does oil. That went up, 16.5% today. So this is an example of a great stock to have. I mean, if you look at it over the last week, look at this. It was down at 4.25. Now it's at 5.10. And I think there's a ton of upside. So if you look over at February 20th, which was the day that everything crashed, we're still at 12. So you still have a huge upside when it comes to kind of where that can go up. Crestwood Equity, one of my great performers. They went up 5.5% today. Fang, I don't have any positions in that. That went up, 6.5% today. So that one's doing really well overall. And if we look at them over for the year, let's see, February 20th was right here, was about $78. You're going to get it 31. I'm definitely considering this. We'll take a look at it. I'm pretty good for oil right now, but I am considering because this stock's always done better than I thought it would do. Helix Energy, another one, is up 10% today. So if we look at them for the year, first of all, for the week, it kind of went down here. Man, you buy it at 237, get it 260, and overall for the year, right before everything crashed down, it was kind of on a good plane. It was up at $9. Man, you can get this for under $3. That is a super discount. And if you look right here, this spike is basically where optimism went up right before the riots really had their effect and driving cases up because you have 100,000 people screaming in the streets, getting in people's faces. And that's kind of where everything went down. But another great one to have there. One of my all-time favorite ones that I have, PVAC. That one has done pretty well. That one went up about 7% today, so that's a beautiful thing. This was my top-performing stock for a while, so this one still has a ton of upside. So if you look at it basically from February 20th, where it was kind of on an upswing, let's take a look here. It had a little bit of a downswing there, but this is right when Corona hit. It was at $32. Get it for 10. That's, again, a third of where you're looking at. And then when optimism happens, look how fast it grows. So I have a nice position in that right now. I bought $2,000 in it, and it's worth $5,000 now. So that's a beautiful thing. All right. Next segment we looked at that I really love is a travel and entertainment one. So we look at Viad. This one, for those who aren't familiar, used to be Greyhound. And now they're basically called, they're Viad. But they do travel, entertainment segments around the country, cultural destination experiences, all kinds of fun stuff. So this one went up 10% today. So this one, I lucked upon even finding this one, but this one's been a really good stock for us, especially in the near term. So up 10% today. And if you look at that, I think when you look at oil, kind of the story behind that is when you see optimism that the economy is getting in a better shape and they're thinking that everything's going to be resolved sooner than later, the demand for oil is going to go up. People are going to speculate, and they're going to buy, and the oil stocks go up. And so there's a lot of talk about the vaccines. I think there's 6 different vaccines that are out there. I think 2 or 3 of them are in phase 3 final stage trials. So that's actually really good. You look at the state of Florida, and Governor DeSantis, to his credit, basically removed all coronavirus restrictions. So you can go into restaurants whenever you want. Businesses can open. And to be fair, he has a really good handle. You're talking about a place with a high elderly population. So you're thinking, well, what is he doing? But I'm telling you, if you look at the granularity of his response when it comes to nursing homes and senior communities and things like that, you'll understand that he is doing an absolutely great job. But then what happens is you get places where you'll get the adjacent pressure is what they call it. So if Florida opens, then one of the things you're going to find is that, the adjacent states like Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia are going to feel pressure to do that, because if you're in Jacksonville and you are open, sorry about that. It's funny. My email I got is, for whatever reason, their server went down, so I keep getting these messages. So we'll close that off a little bit. But if let's say that you are in Savannah, Georgia, and all your restaurants are at limited capacity, but you go to Jacksonville, which is, minutes away pretty much, you can go full capacity. So there's definitely pressure on that as far as adjacent cities. So if you're in Pensacola, Florida, they're wide open, but Mobile, Alabama, which is really not even that far away, is closed, and there's going to be pressure on that. So the same thing with Indiana. I believe Indiana is fully open. That's going to put pressure on Illinois and Wisconsin and Ohio and Michigan and Kentucky as well. So I think that's part of the reason we're looking at that. When you look at the entertainment segment, especially the stocks we're going to look at, it plays into that as well. So Viad, again, up 10%. Service properties, these guys do boutique hotels in the U.S., Ontario, Canada, and Puerto Rico. They're up 10% today. Beautiful thing. Signet Jewelers, which is surprisingly, they're one of the best performers that I have. They do mall jewelry stores, I think K Jewelers and some other ones like that. They're up 7% today, and I've tripled my investment on them. I just put $1,000 in it. Like I said, I didn't think too much of it in the beginning, so I just put a modicum of an investment, but I'm all the way up to over 3,200. So imagine if I put like $4,000 in there, I'd be rolling right now. All right, move over to Vegas, and we're going to look at Every. And these people do ATMs and digital payment processing solutions for casinos. So the more people go in the casinos, the more shows, the more open, the more people staying at the hotel, the more people gambling. This is just literally, pardon the pun, an ATM, this stock is. It has a 100% buy rating. So, if you haven't bought this stock yet, I got to tell you, this is one of the all-time easy ones to buy. On a massive upward trend until February 20th, it was up near $15. You can get it for $8. So it's recovered about half its value, but it's easy money. It's like just literally picking up a wallet, taking on the cash out of it, and stick it in your pocket. That's literally how easy this one is. And we've doubled our money in there. This used to be one of my top performers, so it has a lot of room to go up as well from the investment that we have here. Soho, my all-time favorite, warm my heart stock. I just finally bought it. Put about $1,700 in it, and in literally in a matter of a week, probably I'm already up 12%. It's up 7% today, and they do casinos and hotels and all fun stuff like that. So think Ozark, that show on Netflix, and you kind of get a sense on what they do. It is a cash register of a stock. And lastly, we're going to talk about betting. We kind of alluded that with Every, but DraftKings. The more people, we have basically a point where we have the baseball season just finished up. The playoffs are going to start on Wednesday. Football season is in full swing. I got 2 fantasy teams that I have. You have the basketball season. They're going to be entering the finals. And to be fair enough, who even knows? I didn't even know until they told me, one, that they're in the finals. And I had to look in who's playing because of the politicization of everything that's on there. So hockey, I guess, is starting. There's a little bit of everything. I saw tennis on there. There's golf going. It's loaded. There's so many stuff for people who are betting on things. More states are opening betting. This one is just easy money. Again, it's finding a wallet full of cash, pulling the cash out of the wallet and stick it in your pocket. That's pretty much exactly how easy it is. 70% buy rating on here, which I think it should be 110%. For being honest, but they're up 8% today. It's the easiest money you can have. I've had this stock for literally a month, and I've made a 70% gain on it. So we look to tomorrow, and it's already up, looking like all the indices are up, but we'll see. These things can change. You know, it might turn massively in the red. It might boom even more. It might stay the same. But one of the things they put here, it's kind of a stupid headline. I read this article. It said Dow rallies on hopes for a stimulus package, but Congress just went home. So I'm not sure what's going on, but Nancy Pelosi is under a lot of pressure to get something done. And in that article, they talked about the fact that, like, if she can't work out something with the Trump White House, then they're going to have to resubmit what she had before, which was a total joke. I mean, that was a non-starter from the beginning. But when you call the president, like, and I forget the exact names, but, you know, pretty much every derogatory term in the book, kind of like illegitimate and just things, it's not even criticisms, but it's just straight up slander, you know, even beyond the pale for politics. The odds that you're going to get people that are going to bend over, or at least bend and negotiate with you pretty well, are kind of not in a good spot. But if that stimulus package comes in, one, for the businesses, I mean, that's important. Two, for the airlines. They need to get that done. They literally have a couple days left. And three, for direct stimulus checks. I mean, that's something that just keep an eye out for. As far as coronavirus, things are just awesome. If we look at this, basically the number of cases is on a downward tilt, just like it's always been, on a pretty dramatic scale. The positivity rate is just collapsing. So that's what you're seeing there. The hospitalizations are almost none. I mean, again, if you go in and you have a broken leg and they test you positive for corona, you get tagged for this. And even that is collapsing. So hospital beds in use, again, we see a slight downward tilt. But again, this is our capacity here in San Diego. So I imagine this is probably pretty much par for the course no matter where you go. Deaths, I mean, they're having a problem. I mean, basically the average for the last probably week or two is like 1 to 2 a day. This is a county of 3 million people. So, you know, if we did this and we did this for the flu, I guarantee you these numbers would be much higher if they had tracking like this for the flu. And again, we look at the most recent people that died. Pretty much all of them had underlying conditions. The age 78, 80, 89, which if I could live to be 89, that's awesome. 57, 93. I mean, this person living at 93 should thank their lucky stars. 61, 56, 86, 70, 63, 54, 80. I mean, this should be called the AARP killer. You know, and originally early on, they called it the boomer remover, which I thought might have been the funniest nickname I've ever heard. But again, it's hitting people who are already pretty much on their way out. But it's not affecting society as a whole. So the whole point is things are moving in the right direction. Futures are looking up. Oop, this one dropped a little bit. And again, they vary. But you're basically betting, is the economy going to improve or is it going to tank? If it's going to tank, don't invest. You want to sell your stock. If you think it's going to go up and you think that everything is going to get better, you want to get in and set your cost basis. So again, looking at what we have here, our main focus, and we'll look at this in a second, is not on value or gain, but rather trying to set this cost basis as low as we possibly can. So overall today, we're doing pretty well. Our top performer is Caesar Entertainment. Again, Vegas never, the dealer always wins, and let's invest in the dealer. That's the way I always look at it. Signet Jewelers, the mall jewelry store, we're tripling that as well. Close to tripling Redwood Trust, which is a REIT. And we're moving up in Crestwood Equity, which is an oil stock. Overall, what we invested, we're up 50%. And overall, what we've deposited, and this accounts for margin used as well, we're more than double. And we're going to look for a much, much bigger return. This is nothing compared to what we are looking for. So again, we're looking at about 324 grand to end up with, maybe 330 grand, which is the goal at hand. So with that being said, take some of the kind of the suggestions that we had, get your portfolio set. If you have any questions, let me know. There's a link to a free Robinhood account where you get a free stock in the video description, as well as the spreadsheet. So appreciate that. I'll see you tomorrow. To get more information on the sales cheat code, go ahead and click on the subscribe button below. Also, down below in the video description, down there, there's a link that takes you to our website.
that gives you additional content, some additional freebies that we have, and gives you information on some programs that we have that have been proven to help people to make sales easy so that you can make the kind of money you want, live the lifestyle that you've always wanted, and not have to struggle in the process. And what might be the coolest thing of all is you don't have to put much effort into it. It truly is a cheat code that most people don't know about. And it's a cheat code that can change your life today. So click on the link below and let me help you start to experience these results starting right now.